Welcome to the Dynasty Podcast. I am your host, Corey, the insecure one, Han. I'm here with my best friend and my co-host, Ben, the motherfucking Jesus Ziegler, who is a sexy motherfucker and really cool. And I just swore again in the first 3 minutes, so we're gonna keep that rolling. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. I think you cursed 10 seconds later, so little by little, we're actually going to get in these algorithms. But because you were calling me sexy in the midst of it, there's no way I'm going to complain.
Well,
I
a
appreciate
sexy
that.
a sexy motherfucker is just a song quote, right? Like,
Was
it's
happy hour that good
Prince.
today? You
Happy
usually
hour
don't like
ended
my
at
beard.
happy hour ended at 2:30 in a karaoke bar in San Diego last night. And then I woke up at
Nice.
7:30. I needed to be on a call for work. The call got canceled, so I walked to the Starbucks by my hotel, and there happened to be a liquor store. And I'm like, I am not dealing with a hangover today. I'm not doing it. So I got some half bottle of vodka and some orange juice,
Not
and
gonna do
just
it.
I just kept my day going. And now I'm back here filming a great podcast with you. So
Not at
um,
this juncture.
not gonna do it. Not gonna happen. Yeah. So it's been a trip. Like just for the viewers out there, Ben and I, like, we're gonna do this every Wednesday. Like, it's gonna be great. And then we're both shitting our pants because I'm like, how? I don't understand. Like we have lives,
How's it going to be
and
great, or how are we going to do it?
no, I think it's gonna be great. It's just okay, Ben, I'm gonna be in San Diego for the next 3 days, and I get back, and then I got Post Malone concert in a suite with my wife on Tuesday, and then I'm moving or going up to Tahoe, and Ben's like, yeah, and I'm playing in a band for Fourth of July, and like, well, I'm like, well, we're not gonna do the podcast, and we're just trying to. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying, like, we're putting in work here.
We're
We're
just
trying to
humble
do.
bragging to death. Let's go. This episode's already excellent.
It's
Keep going.
better than the last one. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm happy to be here with you always. Um, do want to cover a couple things, and you're not going to be happy with this, but manhood. Okay. Not great to question someone's manhood. I will just throw that out there as a light blanket statement. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight our other friends, but like I think there's a
So you've
balance when
evolved
you're.
from our last conversation. That's good.
No, me and you are never going to be mad at each other to a point where we're not going to be friends again. It's just you know how to poke my bear, right? And I'll take it, and I take it a lot, and I'm fine with that. Like I think if you threw out a compliment that wasn't like condescending every once in a while, would be nice, like I do that a lot with you, and I don't like it when my friends kind of just jab at me to jab at me. Like and I like that banter. I just don't like it when it's about my manhood. I'm not going to go into details just because of our history and where I was when I met you. I've changed a lot and I've done a lot. And it's hard for me to accept people telling me that I'm not a man, if that's fair.
Okay, fair enough. First of all, I never said you weren't a man. I sarcastically re-quoted some silly
You said real
reel
man.
that I
Real man.
sent you
Yeah. Okay.
just to just to for our joking banter because you're a
Yeah.
LeBron stan and I'm not. And
Yeah.
you got mad like you will normally do because you take
No, I didn't. I
words
was at I was at
and
the airport
you
at
make
8 a.m.
them
having a vodka orange
you
juice
make
on
the
the way to my flight.
words as literal as you possibly can.
Words matter.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They do.
Uh, they
Words
do
do
in
matter.
context. The context was sarcasm. There was no insult meant. It was a joke. It was actually how
Yeah, but
funny.
you and I had a conversation about Mike doing this exact same thing like a month ago, and you're like, I don't know, he's just kind of the way he does
Yeah, but
things.
I'm
But I'm
like
like, and
trying
then
to
you went the same
I'm trying
angle
to
with me.
coddle your like insecurities. I'm not actually
I,
agreeing with
I'm
you.
not. I don't have. I'm an insecure person as much as that. I I talk shit about my own insecurities. Like, I'm not an insecure person about my standing in
Okay.
life.
So this is a fair segment to go right into nothing to do with fantasy football. Let's go into manhood and how you can take.
I'm a decent dude, man, and I'm a man. Like, that's just
Okay.
like, just don't attack that
Well, it's
principle.
also it's also an interpretation of what it means to be a man or to manhood or
Well, I think,
whatever the hell you're internally going through that you got mad about
okay,
a couple words that hit a text. I used to tell women that I had a 1.5 inch penis
is this
because
like,
it was
I think
like a
this is a repeat. This is a repeat
95%.
story. This is
This
a
is a
repeat story.
95%. No, it's not on a pod. I
It
never said
is.
this on the pod.
I'm having
Definitely not.
deja vu then. I'm having deja vu.
Well, I've told you this story, but you're not the pod.
Okay.
I used to tell women I had a 1.5 inch penis and they needed to not waste their time with me, but I was more than welcome to have a conversation. And it was the craziest curveball ever. And, when you take less seriously the idea of manhood, there becomes curiosity and intrigue and interest. And I would always go home with these women. And you know what? You could have a 2 inch
You'd
penis
surprise
and
them.
it
You'd
wouldn't be
surprise them.
disappointing after that. So take that what you will.
I
More
don't care
importantly,
because it's you, Ben.
words
I don't
don't
care.
matter unless you want to be manipulated by what they mean personally when somebody
Preach.
doesn't mean them that
Preach.
way.
Okay.
I didn't mean them to insult you as a man.
I'm over
You
the
took
LeBron
them
Kobe
that way.
conversation. I'm over it. It's like I don't even like I've given up the stance that LeBron's the GOAT.
Okay. But
Okay, so
that's your
let's move
problem.
on.
It has nothing to do with questioning being a man or not. It's just you're sick of the conversation. But you couldn't be a man and say, that's
No,
what
no,
I'm
no.
sick
See, you're
of.
doing it right there.
Oh,
You're
see
doing
what I
it.
did there?
Yeah.
Ah. There you
All
go.
right. So the
Can we move on to fantasy
AFC,
football?
AFC South. Let's pull up the divisions here, and we'll do our AFC South and NFC South rankings. I love you.
Were we going to try and actually publish this one? We're
Yeah,
doing great
absolutely.
already.
This is great. This is wonderful. I think everybody's having fun listening to us banter.
I think
AFC
you and I
South.
had a hell of a ringer of days. I had a busy day. You had a busy day. And guess what? We're doing the
Can't stop,
pod.
won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
No,
And we're doing it. And we're doing it for the people.
for our eight
So,
fans.
yeah, for our 8 people. Hey, Mike, it would be nice to hear you comment, pen. Um,
I
all
had a
right,
trade with
AFC.
Ben today.
Yeah, that's great. A lot of action. So, Houston Texans, the Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Tennessee Titans. What a fucking gauntlet of a league that is. I would take the
It's
Bears
really
over
weird.
everybody in that league.
Let me ask you a question, because this is what I was thinking about when I was looking at this. Is any team better and is any team worse
Then what?
in this division? Is any team
Well,
definitively better or is any
Houston's
team
the best.
definitively worse?
Houston's the best. They have to
No,
be better.
better than last year. Let's not say who's
Well,
better. Like,
yeah, they get to play each other twice. So it's different than the NFC North, right? Like,
well, we have to rank them, right? Like,
yeah,
who's going to finish in what? So that's
I'll go
fine. But
first.
like,
I'll go first.
go ahead, my man.
Houston, Titans, Jags, Colts. Don't know why I said it. Have not prepared for this. Thinking,
That's okay.
I think Houston obviously is the front runner. Stroud in his third year and like their wide receiver core. I mean, they put up 372 points and gave up 372 points. So maybe they're a little bit better on defense and a little bit better on offense. They're in a shit division. Jacksonville with, Trevor.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Touchdown Jesus. I couldn't come up with it. Good job. I just think the Titans probably with like a rookie quarterback and just some change maybe can sneak in there and be 8-9, and then I have no faith in Anthony Richards or what the Colts are trying to do. So it's pretty easy for me. Um, Good luck if you got Jonathan Taylor and the Colts. Like Jonathan Taylor can be gone in 3 months. He could be playing somewhere else. And then it's just gonna be a young team trying to survive. So, and I don't know about Cam Ward either. Like, I hope he works out. He is not a first round quarterback compared to the other ones that have come into the league in the last couple of years. Maybe he's Jaden Daniels and he has a great year. I don't know. So yeah, I go Texans, Titans, Jaguars, Colts. That's my prediction.
Okay. I think that's fair. Um,
You agree with
so
me? Wow. Let's put that on
no,
record.
I think your assessment's fair because it's a shit division. And if anyone has any take of what this division's going to be, like I'll give you a classic example, right? So the coach who has the Colts was supposedly the offensive mind of the Eagles back when they won the Super Bowl in the first run,
Right.
or when they got there. So there was like a lot of high hopes. I don't know, he's not a terrible coach, I don't think. I'm not a Colts fan, so maybe they have a different
What's
thought on it.
what's his name? The coach?
Shane Steichen?
It's Steichen. Okay. I was thinking, yeah. It's not.
Yeah, so jury's a little out. He's
Well, who do you think starts at quarterback for the Colts? Richardson or the Giants kid from Duke?
Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Jones went to quarterback rehabilitation university at the Minnesota Vikings. So there's potential he can have a Sam Donald season just from like sitting in as the fourth quarterback
The
in our
Colts will be
quarterback room.
infinitely better if Daniel Jones is the quarterback. They'll win more
I
games. They'll win more games. I mean, like, even if he's
I
peppering,
don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong, but I don't think that's a lot of games. I think
I'd be buying stock in Josh Downs because he's going to get a lot of a lot of catches, like at 3 yards or 2 yards, and he's going to get peppered. And like, if I had a first round pick that I had to
I
burn, which is
only
just
bought
it.
stock in Jonathan Taylor, and this is why. I
I sold on
just
him. I sold on him.
I just don't think that regardless of who's QBing, I don't think they're going to try and allow anything to happen other than game management from the quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so what does that mean? That means they're going to have to really lean on their defense and game control. And we took two of their best offensive linemen on the interior,
Yeah.
which would be kind of red flaggy, except for they were injured throughout. Well, Fries was injured last year. His replacement was good. He's not as good as Fries, but he's good. So it's like, okay, replacement. This feels like a very Vikings, like, this guy's good enough. And their
Right.
new
Right.
center's good enough. Okay, so like their offensive line is probably going from elite to good enough to do what it wants to do, which is run the ball. So can they be a winner in that division? I don't think so. I don't know if they want to
They put
unless
who,
it's with
who
Anthony Richardson, because they have to just figure out, is it over?
who do you
Now,
think put up more points, the Texans or the Colts last year?
put up more points.
Yeah. Overall points.
I mean, the obvious
Yeah. Well, the Colts
is
did by 5
Houston.
points.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think. Well, they ran the shit out of the ball because
Well, they put up
they were
5
in
more points than
quarterback
the
hell.
Texans that everybody thinks has a lead offense because CJ Stroud had a magical rookie year, but he wasn't good last year. They weren't good on offense last year.
This is why this is a shit show of a division.
It's a shit show of a
Like,
division.
like if
7 was the
if
highest
Stroud
points scored.
recovers and he's like, let's say he's back to rookie year Stroud, and
Everybody in the NFC
I mean
North
they could
put up almost
dominate.
everybody in the NFC North put up almost 100 more points than the top tier of that division, except for the
Corey, we're
Bears.
past the first 30 seconds, so I'm going to say it again. This is a shit division.
Right.
That
Yeah.
stat, thank you for it, is absolutely proving my point. So let's just go down the line. I like Steichen. I think Steichen doesn't have shit to deal with, and I think, Ballard or whoever the GM is, I think his like arrogant, aggressive style is probably run its course. I think they're gonna have to blow the fuck up this team if they don't make something work. And to your point, how long can you possibly give Anthony Richardson the keys if you know he's not the guy? You almost that's why they gave Daniel Jones so much money. Our plan as the Vikings was he's in QB room. He came to us. It's like that's the guy that's going to be the backup to JJ McCarthy. But then the Colts come in and they want to pay him the most money, like a half starter, not just a backup. They gave him a shit ton of money.
You can't put a athletic quarterback into the league that is not pass first and run second and have them win football games in the first 3 years of their career. Good luck, Jalen Milroe. Good luck, Cam Ward. Like you're going to a shit situation, and you have to, you can't ball out. You can't ball out of it. And it's not productive. It's like
No, you have to fail. You have to fail, and then you have to go to Kevin O'Connell's
You got to go to
quarterback
Justin Fields level.
rehabilitation
Yeah.
university, and then we'll help you out. And so I think Daniel Jones should
He's
have stayed with us for an off year, gap year, because I think if he did, he could have gone to another team and probably had a clean enough slate and a fresh enough slate, like Sam Darnold, that he could have just got a massive contact. The problem is like because Daniel Jones didn't take a backup job this year, and he's probably going to start. If he sucks, he'll never be in the NFL again. Like he's just going to be dead. He's going to be like this, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it'll be what Carson Wentz
that sucks for JSM. But like we're digressing a little bit. So what is your rankings? And let's finish this one up, and then we're going to move on to the NFC South. So
I think you're rushing us.
No, I'm not rushing us. I'm keeping us on schedule.
It's the most intriguing one, in my opinion, because they have to go all out or everyone's getting fired.
Correct.
Okay, nobody else is getting fired in this division.
Is Jonathan Taylor Colt next year? I'd say no. And that's probably awesome if you have him because he's not in a great fantasy situation.
He's probably.
What does Jonathan Taylor look like on the Bengals?
Well, he's just probably Barkley. He'll probably not get as much money as he's worth, and then he'll go to a team, and then they'll just run him to the ground with more carries.
What's Jonathan Taylor like on the Arizona Cardinals?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, where I would take him on the Vikings. You would take him. What? No, Corey. What is Jonathan Taylor on a Ben Johnson offense Bears team?
Depends on how much you pay him.
Did you just ejaculate?
No, I don't.
Are you sure? Just think about that. What is Jonathan Taylor?
It's like when I wake up in the morning.
Offense
it's like when I wake up in the morning, I don't think about my wife like just rolling over and giving me a blowjob. Without me waking up from my deep sleep. It's like I don't think about things that aren't going to happen.
This has already gotten too sexual, and that's probably from my story that I started earlier, and I apologize to all our listeners. So let's get to the point. I think that is the last place team because I think they have to swing too hard for whatever they're going to try and accomplish, and it's just not going to work. Okay, so I have them last.
Okay.
And then after that, I'll take the Tennessee Titans third. So I'm going in reverse order, sorry. But like Tennessee Titans third. I think Cam Ward's not trash, but I also think that their offseason moves.
So you have the Jaguars second, you have the Texans first, the Jaguars second.
Why do you think I have the Jaguars second? Why do you think I have the Jaguars second?
You said you had the Colts third, so you're going Titans second?
I said I had the Colts last.
Okay. I thought you said
Titans third, Houston second, and the Jacksonville Jaguars number one.
Wow.
Okay. Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this division. And here's why. The incompetence up and down the Jaguars organization has been Cleveland-esque, right? It's like you never see a team this inept and incompetent
ever.
As far as coaching, management, firing, whatever. So I believe their current coach that got Baker Mayfield right into God's great gift of the world, I think he's going to be able to unlock not like Hall of Fame status on Trevor Lawrence, but I think he's going to take him up, and the offense in general, I think he's going to take up as well. I also think they've addressed their defense in ways that will solidify them as like at least middle of the pack, at least. And I think their defensive coordinator is going to, I don't want to go too far, but I think he's going to definitely he's going to overachieve. So I just think, in my opinion, I don't think the Texans got better. Like, I like Higgins. I like Noah. Like, they didn't get better. I love D'Amico Ryan. I just don't think they got better.
Yeah, I don't know. I think C.J. Stroud in the third year, and then you have Hunter and
a level
Hunter higher. And my boy on the other side of the. I mean, they're better. They're better. They're a better team than everybody else in that division. It's not even close. I mean, it's the Houston Texans.
I think the Jags,
barring injury, will win that division. That's it.
I think the Jags win 11.
Nobody calls it better than anybody else.
I think the Jags win 11 and Houston wins 10. That's my call.
Okay.
I think the Titans are like 6, and I think
I'd like to bet it. I'll take.
We're not on here to make takes.
Plus 195 on that.
What are you talking about? See, this is the worst thing ever. If we're gonna sit here and give opinions, and you're gonna be like, "I'll bet that straight up," then
no,
obviously
I didn't say straight up.
you're just
I'm
being
saying
safe.
you can have plus 195 odds that the Jaguars beat the Texans in the division. Plus 195. So I have to put up 200 and to get 100. I think that's a fair bet.
You don't bet. You just cried like a. Well, I don't want to.
I do with you. I don't want to
insult your manhood because you know where that goes.
So
what I will say is,
we're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Don't bet anymore.
I gave you fair odds on your take, and you didn't take it. Okay, cool. That was the AFC South.
Did you bet your take?
Did
you bet the Houston Texans
to win the division?
We don't have to bet everything just to have a take, dude.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm moving on. I'm doing my best.
You're doing great, Corey. You know those 3-day benders really actually they make me Randy.
Yep. All right, NFC South. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have the Falcons, Carolina Panthers, and the Saints. I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. I would be shocked if we didn't have the Saints last together, because they're clearly intentionally tanking.
One of the shit teams in the league.
Well, no, but like farther than that, I think we were talking about certain player evaluations and like what we thought about it. And I was talking about young players. I like a lot of young players and rookies on New Orleans, because I just think if you are intentionally tanking, you have to see what kind of young talent you have. So like I haven't been buying like vets, like Demario Davis, for example. He's super cheap.
He's 39 years old. He's 39.
But he's cheap. And I'm like, man, I really want to buy Demario Davis for like this nice discount, because his season across 10 years is just great.
He's going to be $140 in the BC auction.
But if
$140, and he's 39 years old. He's fucking geriatric.
If they're 0-8, they're just moving on from anyone with age. And they're like, we're tanking. Who cares? We want Archie Manning. Or not Archie Manning. Archie Manning. No.
Yeah, it's Archie.
Right? Arch Manning, yeah. I believe we're going to see the biggest tank job in our lifetime of a team. And the only reason I say that is because the owner of that team is a miserable fucking human being who also owns the Pelicans. And they just do
you know him personally?
Shit with no regard.
Like, is he a nice guy to his grandchildren, or like?
Who?
I mean, I just don't.
The woman who owns that runs that team.
Woman?
Yeah, it's a woman who inherited, I believe, she's running this, or she has the majority share of the Pelicans and the Saints, who we don't need to tangent into basketball, but I would argue the Pelicans are probably the new Clippers. Like, she's the new Donald Sterling.
Oh,
She's
well.
she's a disaster.
Hey,
And
I got a question for you. Not to throw
yeah,
you off subject, but how do you feel about your wife going to New Orleans on a girls' trip?
as long as you are comfortable with other people voting your wife's boobs with no touching and no malintent, I think it's totally fine. If
Yeah, I mean, I
photos
think every.
bother you,
Yeah.
it's a problem. Wait,
Well,
this
I mean,
isn't for Mardi Gras. This is just in general?
no, it's just going to. It's in October. And I'm like, okay,
It's not
go.
Mardi
Have
Gras?
fun. No, so it's like there's no beads
Who
involved. It's
fucking
just going
cares?
and having
Dude, are you
good
kidding
food,
me?
get
New
black.
Orleans?
I
New
just worry about
Orleans?
my wife like being blackout drunk and like like
What?
she doesn't. Well,
She's not going
I
to
know my wife.
Baltimore, dude. She's not
Well, I
going.
mean, I don't know. It's just like but she also
Shout out to
says
Baltimore. Sorry, but
Roxanne's a lovely lady. She's the best. She's the hottest dude I've ever met. Um, she she does tell me that when she goes and she's hanging out with her friends, she doesn't let loose as much because I'm not around to protect her. So that's what I worry about.
good. No,
It's
that's
like,
fine.
going
But
out and having fun, and it's not
okay,
her
okay,
decisions
okay,
that
okay.
she's making. It's that someone else will take advantage of her and I'm
So
not around.
exactly
That's it.
what I went into was I thought you were talking about Mardi Gras.
No,
And
there's
that's
no
what
Mardi
you're
Gras.
thinking
Yeah.
is, no, but dude, New Orleans,
It's like
capital of
going it's like
food
going
and
to
soul. Dude,
Jacksonville.
that has nothing to do with anything of that. Yes, it's partying, but it's all music and food and like
Yeah, yeah.
ridiculous indulgence. And like, yeah, Mardi Gras, okay, that's where you pop the titties. Cool. Sorry
I
for
don't
the
care if she
listeners.
pops her titties. They're my titties. I paid for
Well,
them.
then what are you
It's
worried
like,
about?
yeah,
I don't think I personally walked through Austin, Texas in the like a couple sections and was like, and Seattle, and I grabbed a sharp object in case I had to murder somebody who tried to like do something
I've
to
been
my
to
house.
Austin, Texas like 12 times in the last 2 years. It's not dangerous. It's fine.
There's
It's
no
a normal.
streets that are dangerous in Austin, Texas.
No, they're not.
Okay.
No,
Awesome.
I've walked up and
Awesome.
down that place.
There's nobody
Yeah.
homeless in California either. I love these takes.
No, there are homeless people. I was sitting with a homeless man last
There's
night in San
danger in
Diego.
every
Like
major
I
city,
was sitting
Corey.
with him. I bought him a Gatorade, a pack of smokes. I bought him some cookies, and I sat there and I'm like, "What are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "How do I help you? Like, how do I get you out of here?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "You got to help yourself, man. I was homeless once. It's
So
just
you
not.
think New Orleans is top what
Are we?
percentage
Is
of
this a
dangerous
fantasy football
cities in the
podcast?
United States?
New Orleans? I don't know. I've never been there. That's also part of the problem. I just think of what you're saying, like of it being like this big.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. But I
I'm
just
not a big.
told you about titty showing culture,
I don't care about titty
soul and
show.
great.
I'm talking about my wife being accosted on a street at like 2 in the morning because she's blackout drunk and she doesn't have me there to protect her.
Yeah, it's
That's what I'm
probably
worried about.
worse in Tamarindo, Costa Rica. Take it easy.
Well, I wouldn't want my wife in Tamarindo without me.
She'd be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
She'll be
Moving on.
fine. She'll be fine in New Orleans. Who's from New
Moving
Orleans that's
on.
watching this?
So
Somebody
we
set
have.
Corey straight that New Orleans is legit.
I can't wait to go and have her not know that I'm there and just like hover. Just kidding.
You're,
Um,
you're, let's move
so
on.
so the
It's a lot to
Buccaneers.
unpack.
So the Buccaneers are the Falcons. I'll take the Falcons this year to win the division.
The Bucks are the Falcons. What about our third team?
The Panthers, they're going to finish third.
I think I'm gonna have to agree.
Yeah. So, but
However, if the Panthers finished ahead of the Falcons, I wouldn't be shocked because I think the Panthers are one of the more improved teams this
well, you
year.
got Penix in year two. It's like, did they make the eighth pick in the
I
draft
don't think that's a
and win
well-run
or not?
organization. I don't think it's a
But
well-run.
they can run. Well, they don't have the fucking the guy though. The offensive
They're
coordinator.
they are. It's crazy they're in the same division, but they are like a dumpster fire of an organization making dumpster fire decisions. Let's max pay Kirk Cousins and then tell him we are not drafting a quarterback and then do it anyways with our eighth over or sixth overall pick.
Eighth.
I'm just saying the two derelict franchise of the
Derelict.
NFL are
Derelict.
next to each other.
Right.
So now we're saying, okay, Atlanta's is a shoe-in because of Penix and some good talent around him. At 2, I'm just saying no. I'm saying Tampa Bay number 1, without a doubt. And I think I might even bet them to win the division by like 4 games. I mean, that's how far ahead I think they are of these other 3 teams.
Well, they scored 502 points last year, and the Falcons scored 389.
Dude, they just extended Todd Bowles. I just saw
Mike Evans is going to have another
Levante David
1,000.
was just like on record talking about how he'd run through a brick wall for Baker Mayfield. They just got culture.
Can we talk
there.
about that a little bit? Like,
They got
how
culture.
are these guys playing 35-year-old middle linebackers in the NFL?
They're fucking excellent at it. Fred Warner,
They're suicidal. I mean, like,
Levante
Fred
David.
Warner is not 35. He's 28. So is Zach Bond. I just looked it up because I made a deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, but Levante David and Demario Davis are
Yeah,
33
but Fred
years
Warner's
old
an
plus.
8-year vet. So cool. He came in when he was 20. I'm sorry his age. They're like, look at how long they've been in the league.
I don't know how long you can bet on guys that just pound their heads into,
You won a championship with Demario Davis 2 years in a row, and you're questioning whether or not you can depend on Geezer.
I'm telling you,
That's
Demario
hilarious.
Davis and Levante David in the auction are going for $150.
They should.
No question asked.
Until they prove it wrong.
One year deal, But like I'm not touching them. I mean, because I don't have $150 to spend, but I would if I did.
But you did, and won 2 championships in a row from it. That's what's
Correct.
funny to me.
I found
You're like,
two
I won't
really
touch.
good
I
old
won't touch
linebackers.
these aging vets, but like you won a championship with those guys on your team. Like, why
I'm
the
not.
hate?
I love them. I'm saying they're 2 years older now.
Is
It's
this where
like-
we get to segue to your 10th straight season and saying Mike Evans is overrated?
No, I kind of mentioned that. Like, I try to buy
Is
like
he a
the
geezer too?
I try to buy the futures a little bit. So I've been wrong about Mike Evans for the last 4 years. I just
it's
think
longer
that at
than
some
that.
point well,
I think since his sophomore year, you've called him a total.
that's not
bust.
true. I mean, I think 6'4", 225-pound wide receivers are the sexiest thing on earth.
Who's the best wide receiver
my
in this
type.
division, Corey?
In this division?
There's one answer.
Kyle Pitts.
An asshole. Obviously, it's Mike, Hall of Fame first ballot Evans.
Not a question.
Most
Not a question.
disrespected
Yeah. No, absolutely.
guy
Absolutely.
I've ever seen, not just in football, but in fantasy football. And he's like,
He's in the auction. He's going for $295 if you're a noob.
Nah.
Like 300, 320.
people get tricked. People will be like, it's probably the last year.
No, but if
Is
I'm
one-
a noob,
is one-
if I'm
is
a
190
rookie,
too much?
if I'm a rookie and I have $1,500 in cap because I'm in the ROD, I'm paying whatever it costs to get Mike Evans, and then I'm trading him for whatever I can get, like after game 4 when people start
Corey.
getting hurt.
I would like us to do a segment. I think next week would be perfect because it will be right before the auction and we can
Okay.
mess with everyone's head. Who
Well,
do you
okay.
think will go for more money, any position, than Mike Evans? And we'll just do that. We'll go through all the
Tyreek
top
Hill?
free agents. You
Tyreek
think he'll
Hill.
go for more than Mike Evans?
Correct.
You think so?
Yes.
I saw Tyreek Hill in a startup draft go for a bag of peanuts. I think people hate Tyreek Hill as much as they
Oh.
hate Mike Evans.
No, racism is a horrible thing, and if you don't like Miami and you don't like, Mike Evans is under the radar.
He's just
I don't know why I
always
said the racism
not
thing,
rated
but-
correctly, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
he's not.
Maybe
He's
2 years he was rated overrated. But
Is he
like,
better than Calvin Johnson?
career longevity? This would be like
Well, you can't use that word because we're talking LeBron and Kobe. So, like,
Oh,
don't-
yeah. So,
yeah,
okay. So Mike Evans is LeBron and Kobe's the Megatron. Suck it.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
All right. What was the next segment? I think we're going to discuss trades. Or what was it? You have the list.
I thought the list was right here.
Oh, I don't have it. Okay, well, we're gonna do trades. So can you pull up the
Are we done with our football segments? I thought we were supposed to do all our football stuff first.
I think that was
You
it,
know,
bud. I think that was it. Yeah. I mean, this is great. I love it. I'm having a wonderful time. I think that was a pretty good
but you were
football
supposed to
segment.
talk about training camp, Buzz.
Well, yes, let's
What
do
did you
training
call it?
camp. Yep.
Fagazi? Is it okay? Okay, everyone. Is
Yes.
it
Well,
Fugazi or is it a Fagazi? Is it
Fugazi.
Fagazi or
It's a
Fugazi?
Fugazi. Like, I mean, it's
FU
Johnny
or
Depp.
FA?
It's Johnny Depp in front of, okay. So let me set it up because I'm the host. So, training camp buzz. Is it real or is it a Fugazi? And so we have to name some players. I have not done any research. I don't know any players off the top of my head, but we're going to start with the Chargers rookie tight end that seems to be screaming up draft boards. And you make a friendly suggestion to a person, and then you say, "Hey, man, can I get a fifth and a sixth for a seventh?" And then they take it and they activate them. I mean, it's fucked up. Okay, so here's what I'll say. I can't pronounce his name. We all know who we're talking about. It's whatever you want.
The
The
rookie
chart.
tight end who plays for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Correct. Yes. Or I couldn't even search it in like player
God,
history.
I would
Like
one up you and hit it, but like I
you.
know I would. No, I know I'd butcher his name too,
I
so I'm
have.
not gonna do it.
I think it's OG. His name's OG. His first name starts with an O. His last name starts with
Him
a
and
G.
DN for the. So every year, it's like there's a handful of guys. There's like that's too many consonants and not enough vowels in a name. I
Okay,
can't do it.
so there was a CBS podcast that had like some analytical nerd on it, like about 4 days ago. Never heard him on the podcast. I listened to all of them, obviously. Um, I
So
think
you're
they
a
suck
CBS
most
guy.
of the
I'm
time.
gonna note that for
No,
when
no, no.
I
I no.
figure out
I
your
mean, it's
values.
just noise in my ear when I'm at my executive locker room in my workout area, like or in my car. Like I'm not like listening. Heath Cummings. Oh God, I wish they were actually in like played in this league, like and they understood what dynasty football is really about, and like being a GM, they talk about the surface level stuff. So he has a nerd on that starts talking about OG, and OG gets mentioned on that.
Oronde Gadsden.
I said
Gadsden.
OG. It's OG.
No,
That's
no, it's
that's what we're talking.
Oronde Gadsden. It's
Yeah.
like that's the hard part. Gadsden.
OG.
OG's
All right.
fine. I was just
Yeah.
I got it. I figured it out.
So my whole point being, you hear that, and then you watch it so like whoever's out there listening to the CBS Dynasty podcast, good luck, um, because they move up
We're not
fast.
judging anyone here.
No, you should listen, but like just
I mean,
whatever.
the
I mean,
elite information is here, but everyone else is
I
they're
don't know
okay.
if we're better. Like I think we're just deeper. We're a deeper podcast than most. I mean, we've talked about, tits and wives and, sexual preferences and a bunch of shit
Get back to
already.
the point, Corey.
Okay. So he screams up the draft boards and it's like, okay, you can't get him now. I'm like, how does he go in front of fucking Gunnar Helm, who has nobody in front of him except Shig Owagunze or whatever? Like, how does Gunnar Helm, the Texas fucking tight end, go behind OG? Like it's not possible. There's no world in which in the next 2 years that Tyler Helm does not produce more fantasy points than OG.
Ah, I love
Zero.
these takes. I love these takes. So for
Zero chance.
everybody watching, Corey's very tactful about not doing this when he's prepared and sober. But since he's been on one and he's frisky, when he says something, there's a zero chance. There's a zero chance this happened.
Okay.
These are really good and frisky takes. So I'm not disrespecting Corey. I'm just saying I appreciate it when the zero chance stuff comes out.
Zero chance
So
that Gunnar Helm does not score more points in fantasy football over the next 2 years over OG. You want to bet
years. The next 2 years.
it? I said that originally when I
So
made my
okay,
statement.
first of all, I don't know if the people watching this are driven
Nobody's
as
watching
crazy as
that.
I am
It's
when
just
you're
me and
like
you. Nobody's
there's
watching.
a
It's just me and you.
when you're like, There's a 0 chance. Do you want to bet it? I would love to bet there's a 0 chance.
There's a 0 chance I'm getting syphilis tomorrow.
Like, if you're going to give me a infinity to 0 odds, because there's a 0 chance.
Well, this is why I don't gamble anymore, okay? Like, let's
Fair
move
enough.
on. All right.
Enough.
So is he a Fugazi or is he real? OG. That's all. That's all the take is.
So is he a Fugazi?
A Fugazi. A Fugazi.
Jesus Christ. We need to learn which letter is correct before we make this a regular segment. But for now, I'm going to play ball.
Johnny Depp. There's no way I can pronounce
that's all that matters. We'll just... I like Pirates better, but...
He did his research. He did his research.
So, he is...
Fugazi.
A Fugazi. However, the hype behind the fact that Jim Harbaugh, in his history, deals with tight run formations with lots of volume to a tight end who has competency is interesting, and that's it. Because they tried to do it. They tried to do it with Will Dissly, and he sucked donkey ass last year.
Disley and Conklin in front of him.
No.
Okay.
Conklin's coming from New York.
His frame is like.
I think
like
Conklin's better. I think Conklin might sneaky be the.
I'm going all in on
tight end this
Conklin in the draft or in the auction. Like, if anybody wants to know what I'm doing at tight end for my backup to 34-year-old Mike Gesicki, I'm going in on Conklin. Okay?
I'm telling you the process. The process that people are selling themselves on this player is that if things run correctly in a Jim Harbaugh offense, there's a lot of volume for a tight end, and we know that tight end isn't really on the team yet. And so it's why last year we liked the guy who was a rookie. It's why this year we like the guy that's a rookie.
Ben, the point is he's not a run blocking tight end. He's more of a Ferguson or a Loveland, but doesn't have the frame or the skill. He's super raw. Like, he has no frame. So he's not going to be in on run plays unless they're going to line him up instead of fucking QJ. They're not putting him in. He's a 3-year developmental tight end that needs to put on 30 pounds before he's actually getting a snap. Unless they're going to put him in and he's just, I mean, I'm out.
This is the point in the podcast where we remind everybody listening, Corey knows better than Jim Harbaugh.
What's Charlie Warner up to these days?
Who basically has face fucked the NFL and college.
Okay, cool.
But we know better than him.
No, I don't know.
We know better. We know better than his assessment of players.
I'm not drafting him because of camp buzz at 220.
You draft him because of the coach. You don't draft him
Gunnar
because
Helm,
of cap buzz.
I appreciate you. I tried my ass off to get Gunnar Helm. Someone else took OG before Gunnar Helm. Good luck. That's all I'm saying. He'll be on your taxi squad for the next 3 years, and then you can cut him. That's all I'm saying. Fugazi. Moving on. Brashard Smith. I took him 203 in the draft. Wild risk. Why? Why did I take him 203 in the draft, Ben?
Because you're hoping he's better than Generic Prince, who's on my roster with an FA next to him?
That's my hope.
I mean, if he doesn't have an FA next to him, then that's a start.
Is Brashard Smith better than RJ Harvey?
Ooh.
In Kansas City?
This is going to hurt your feelings, but RJ Harvey's better than Brashard Smith.
Okay. That's fine. I'm okay with it, but I got him at 203, not 107.
That's coming from a big hater, dude.
I got him at 107.
Big hater.
I didn't take him at 107. I took him at 203. So here is my rationale. Not camp buzz. So obviously not a Fugazi for me. 7th round draft pick. Okay, cool. Transferred from wide receiver to running back, and it was last year. Put up 1,800 all-purpose yards. Cool. Kick return value, punt return value. All I need him to do is score 6 points every week in BC. his
If
rookie
he
year.
makes the team and gets the job, yes.
If he doesn't make the team, I will. I don't know what I'll do. It'll be
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
draft.
whoa, whoa! Seventh rounder. If he doesn't make the team, what? Give it to
I don't
me.
know.
You took him in the
You tell
second
me.
round, high second.
You make the standards. You make the standards, right? Like you tell me what the bet is, and I'll accept it or deny it. They have Nico Rimaggio there. Like, okay, so
No, hold on.
he's probably punt
Carson
returning.
Steele probably makes the team over
Goodbye.
him.
Goodbye.
Oh, you think goodbye?
Goodbye.
So you think no? So Kansas City has
It's speed.
4 wide receivers that are sub 4.4.
Who
And
has more pass attempts behind the line of scrimmage than Patrick Mahomes over the last 3 years? Nobody.
okay, they paid Elijah Mitchell. They have Pacheco, and then they also
I don't care
have
if he runs the ball once. I just want him to catch passes and wheel routes and get 6 points a game
over
and
the
kick
3 guys ahead of him.
and kick return. He can get 80 to 90 points off of kick returns.
If he wins the job, which
Okay.
he is in competition with 5 fucking other players who have other roles on the
Make
team.
the bet, superstar. Make the bet. He's making the team.
I love how you don't. This is why you don't bet. What do you want to bet? Whether or not he
Well,
makes
I'm
the
horrible
team?
at it, obviously.
Whether or not he makes the team?
I just had to have the conversation with Roxanne.
I'm not going to bet
She's
you
like,
he
how much did you actually lose
doesn't
in
make the
gambling
team
and
unless
on
you give me good
NFTs? I'm like,
odds.
she's like, how much did you lose in gambling in NFTs since we got married? I go, I don't know. I have
I
like
took
really nice t-shirt and
Brashard
coffee cup.
Smith 202. We're fine, baby. Honey,
Okay.
fucking money's in the mail.
I thought
So
you actually did. I thought
if
you
you're
win.
right,
I win.
you can go brag about it. But I think the odds are you're
But
not.
isn't that the point? Isn't that the point of what we do? It's like you can't win if you don't make good risk assessment.
I
I'm
think
saying that
that
he
it's
will score.
okay that you
He will
gambled
score
on
120 points this year in BC.
120
120. That's a very low
under.
number.
I will give you that bet.
Okay, so you got to give me plus 150 odds.
Ah, you're such a cunt. You
No,
won't
I mean
even
like that's a
talk
fair.
giving
That's
me odds, and then you're fucking
okay.
talking about this
So
shit.
he's not a
Fuck off. Give me a
Fugazi
straight
for
up
me.
bet.
No.
He's a
What?
Fugazi.
He's gonna score
Fucking
120 points.
Fugazi.
Okay,
Fugazi the fuck out of here.
Fugazi. All right. That was kind of mean. I didn't like it.
Oh, wait.
We're
How's
moving on.
Justin Ross doing? Yeah, you like Chiefs with
Stealing money out of
perspective.
ATMs with hookers.
Perspective.
You know, it's not great, but like he was a good calculated risk. I took him 213, I think. I mean, like whatever. Could have been the next Jerry Rice.
I'm not going to say that anyone drafted after that at the running back position has some guarantee to do better than him or be greater than him. But your confidence and the ADP
Okay, so
is probably more.
forget about where I drafted him. Is he a Fugazi or is he for real? Okay, well we disagree. Moving on. The next one. I don't have one. Do you have one?
Okay.
Bring up a defensive.
No. I just drafted him. This is perfect, so I can get your opinion. Because it's fair that if you drafted somebody and I ripped them apart, even though I told you, and I still hold by this, it's not that it's a bad pick. It's not that it can't work out. I just think those are highly volatile assumptions that a 7th rounder is going to perform at 34 overall ADP. Just like OG from the Chargers performing at 44 overall ADP. Now, this is blue chip and there's different stuff, but these are aggressive ADP shots at these players.
I just took a rockstar pee and I was gone for 2 minutes and you didn't even realize. Like, and you just kept
I
talking.
did realize I'm covering for you. You literally shit on our audience right now because I was trying to cover for you while you were out, and you made us all.
But
feel
you did good. It was good. So are you
glad you
talking
heard
about
everything
Tyler
I
Horton?
said.
You're talking about Tyler Horton?
So Torrey Horton.
Yeah,
Horton.
Torrey. Okay.
His name's
So
Torrey.
I like the pick. I like the pick. I did.
At 48 overall,
You don't have any wide receivers, like you're fucked. So if he's the
Let's say I
third guy on
don't.
the
Let's
team,
say I don't. It doesn't matter. I don't. I didn't care about what your running back situation was when you talked about your pick. Let's just talk about like where he is in here because first of all, Torrey Horton I got probably if you were going to translate this into 16 team leagues like I don't know, like 2, 3 rounds later, like he was like a fifth, sixth round guy. So I had to take a mid second in BC. Is it worth it there? Is the risk worth it? Do you like his outlook?
I knew nothing about him, honestly, like because it just wasn't in any of the drafts I was doing, like in that segment. I wasn't looking for wide receivers. I was getting them early. But I would say after you made, I mean, every time you make a pick, I look at I look at it. I'm like, okay, I find more information. There's a few GMs in our world that like when they make a IDP pick or offensive pick, like I have to like dive in because it's I know they're good at what they do. And so when you picked him, I was like, okay, good. But like there was no way I was going to touch him in any draft. I just didn't have it wasn't a need. I'm saying it's a very, very good calculated risk that he could be a wide receiver 3 moving forward, and you got him cheap.
And he is definitively a special teams guy. So
Well, that's
his
something that
roster
nobody
spot
understands in these
his
leagues. They
roster
don't
spot is
understand.
guaranteed, and he's definitively at minimum a kick returner, probably both punt returner, kick returner. But
He's like
also,
6'2" and lanky, though, right?
yeah, I am man. Like, I'm gonna say
I don't
something
see that as
funny
like
about.
a
I'm
kick
gonna say
returner.
something funny about Torrey Horton.
Can't wait.
In all the leagues I'm in, only 2 people own Torrey Horton: myself or
And
Warren.
Brad. And Brad.
No, Warren.
Oh,
Warren
see?
gave me one of the most frisky offers I think I've ever turned down in my life,
Well, Warren's
including
a motherfucker. I mean,
Torrey
like
Horton.
in the most positive way. Warren is a motherfucker. He's a wonderful, talented GM. Period. Point
I'm not
blank.
saying anything about it, but I thought it was very funny. A guy that was very high on. I'm not always high on the same players with Warren. Sometimes we definitely go across leagues, and it's like,
Yeah, but
but
he
same with you.
offered you
Same with
he
like,
offered you Vele. He offered you Vele for that pick. I guarantee he offered you Vele.
I'm not here to expose trades.
Okay.
It
I'm
was
just saying,
way
like,
it was way
I'm not also
juicier than that.
stupid.
It
I
was
give you
way
respect,
juicier
but
than
I'm
that.
also
It was
not
way
stupid.
juicier than that. And in the end, like I really want in this league, like I'm not going to trade him unless it's like stupid. Because like I have a gut feeling. It's a gut feeling I had with guys like Aaron Jones, Stephon
Keenan
Diggs.
Allen.
No, guys I drafted in this league in the past where it's just like, I'm ready to die on this hill because I just feel like the floor
Do you
the
remember
floor is
Tori? Do you remember
what's that?
Tori? Tori from Tamarindo? Okay. So I was watching football at her funeral, and Keenan Allen was like
Torian?
Torian, yeah.
Not
That's where I
Tory.
came up.
Torian. Okay.
Torian, yeah. So that's where I saw Keenan Allen for the first time. And I'm like, oh, that's what I like. I like toe tapping on the sidelines. I like big hands. I like body size. I like dogs. And I drafted Keenan Allen everywhere after I saw him. Like just one play. It's just like you see something in someone, you fucking draft them.
That's after
You
he was in the NFL though.
yeah. This is rookie
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
No,
I
I
mean,
drafted Keenan Allen
I'm talking in
everywhere.
like Yahoo leagues, like before anybody like knew who Keenan Allen was, you know.
I've tried to
Filthy,
duplicate
filthy.
like seeing like these guys like Keenan Allen, and I'll say it
It's
doesn't
just
always
something
work out.
about like high pointing, tapping your toes on the sideline, and I
But
got it, and then
it's
ball.
even more without being an explosive offense, and you just look at a guy and you're like, that fucker.
All right, so
Yes.
Fugazi or Real? I'm gonna go
Who?
Real. Horton.
Yeah, I'm just made my case, but I'm very I'm a believer for where he is because like if the floor is he's competing with Marquez Valdez Scantling for three, two's Cooper Cup, who's trending down, and he's a returner,
I
punter,
would
and
say I
kicker.
would have a hard time saying Cooper Cup's trending down because he's a fucking dog, and like he's just not gonna stop until he's stopped. Like he's not gonna do it.
Corey,
Yeah,
Corey,
I would be buying
his
high on
ADP
Cooper Cup.
is if he's Cooper Cup, his ADP is egregious, and his auction value is egregious. Everyone thinks he's going down because this is a Cooper Cup who won
Going
MVP
down elevator.
and won it all, and everyone's forgot about it. And so if Cooper Cup becomes a 100 catch guy again, I'm not going to be surprised. I got some shares, I, but if he is declining and his injuries were as bad as they're taking away some of his route skills, then okay. Like we're dealing with JSM and who's up next. Now, granted, there's a couple other up and
Will
comers
Disley,
there I
baby.
like, but
Will Disley.
Will Disley
Not
is
there anymore. Just kidding.
trash.
Uh, okay. So here's the segment. We're gonna do a magic segment right now. Okay. Fugazi or fake? OG. Fugazi. Brashard Smith.
Fugazi.
Real. Tyler Horton. Real.
He's the real deal.
Okay. Cool. Moving on. Now we're going to discuss. This is a segment for all the BC people. Obviously, if you've been listening this long, God
Hey,
bless
Corey,
you.
this is where you get to talk and I get to take a second. Go.
You want me to talk? I don't know how to do it. So I think it's important for everybody to understand, listening, that we play in a very, very deep, 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 deep fantasy football league. It's really hard to explain it to like a commoner, but that's what we do. So this next 45 minutes or an hour is going to be about the BC community and like how we look at things. We're in a 32 team, 32 GM league that has contracts, it has franchise tags, it has taxi squads, it's IDP. You have 22 starters making up your roster every week, and there's very limited resources in free agency. So it gets a little deep and it gets a little bit tough to like have it be spread to the masses. So we're trying to do football before, and now we get to talk about BC and the beast of the league that you're in. And if you're listening still, God bless you. We love you. All 8 of you. We're back.
How'd you do?
I don't know. I mean, just like I did open up for Joe Biden yesterday. It's not that bad.
Let's go, Brandon.
A couple of, honestly, another shout out. I probably have 200 text messages between Saquon and Brute Force.
200.
Yeah, like over the last 2 days, 3 days, and it's like it's been beautiful, man. Like, just a shout out to Brute Force, Saquon, fucking Daly City. Like, guys, this is what it's all about. It's like meeting some degenerate people that do fantasy football and meeting maybe friends too, like friends like that you can, man, I want to go to Alabama and I want to hang out with Mike, like, I don't know. I've never been to Alabama, but if I'm going to Alabama, I'm calling Mike. I mean, it's just that simple. And like such a
Roll Tide.
great energy, great new owners. I'm gonna call out Acme Packers and like hope that like, and Missouri Milkman, I think he's got something like he's gonna be a good GM. I'd put my money on him, being in the playoffs year after year over time. But you know what? Be social, like hang out, like chat, like whatever. It's like deals get made. So, um,
Is this where we go right into the segment of say something mean about a GM who's really good and you're fucking bitter about it?
no, then I'll say, I got some feedback from the last pod about shitting on Dan, and it's like
Who
I'm
shit
not
on
shitting on
Dan?
Dan. No, nobody shit on Dan in the last podcast. It's just there's history here, and it's a beautiful history. And I think
We
Dan
did
does
not
it.
shit on Dan.
We did not. We do it. Dan's doing an amazing job. He's a horrible trade offer. He's in the bucket of Warren and Game of Thrones, Dothraki. But everything,
Hey,
everything
hey,
aside, everything
shots
aside.
fired. So we are saying. So I'm sorry. I said we don't say bad things about Dan, but apparently Corey wants a fucking pistol from the hip all
Well, he's a
over the
horrible
place.
trade offer. I mean, like
Oh,
he's not. I
Jesus.
mean, we do not value players the same.
Volume
I love
trades
Dan.
are volume trades.
Dan will be on the next
I've
podcast. By
made
the way,
I've made veto trades and I've
Dan will
gotten
be on the
away
next
feeling
podcast. He was
nice.
very sad that our first podcast we didn't have the commissioner on. So I am making a promise to Dan that he will be on the next
Well,
podcast next week.
Dan's been. Oh, it's okay. Dan's been on the podcast before. I think it was like. I'll go find the episode and I'll put it in MB.
It's 3 years ago, 4 years
Yeah,
ago, maybe.
sounds
Yeah,
right.
he was great.
Might have done,
He was
that
great.
might have been with Roman too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh
I
my
think it
gosh.
was.
That'd be
That
so
should be an
beautiful.
archive pull. I'm gonna go find it.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
probably a really good. It's
so
probably a
we
really
do
good
not shit
episode.
on Dan. It's a tough job. He does a great job.
We don't shit on anyone. Anyone
No.
in this league, we don't shit on you. If we say anything,
We
even
certainly
if
don't question their manhood.
Corey does, but then says he doesn't. We've seen that. He'll call you a predator and then say he's a saint. But we're not talking about Bruno.
Ouch, 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 ouch.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Moving on from that. I get it. You're not a predator, Mike. Love ya. Did you notice that I made two deals with two noobs right after I called everybody else a predator?
Guess what? Corey, this is my favorite thing about
Well, I'm calculated.
this segment. About this segment. Calculated, exactly. My favorite thing about this segment is rather than talking about how you just immediately traded with two new people after you're holier than now rants about how you should protect
I
at all
never
costs.
said holier now.
It
I
was
said I didn't
all
do it.
justified by the fact that you had how many was it?
Well, hey, it's fair
200
game
texts?
now. It's
200
fair game,
texts?
right? It's fair game.
Was it 200
Huh?
texts?
I'm trying
200 texts.
I'm trying to three-peat in this
200
league, Ben.
200
Three-peat.
texts is the minimum.
Legendary status.
That's
Legendary
the minimum.
status. Three-peat.
Everybody, if you can send 200
Three-peat.
personal texts, then you can trade with new people. It's that
It's nice.
easy.
I know like names of kids of family members. No, it's not like I'm not trying to hurt you here, man. I'm just trying to make a good, honest deal.
Look, everybody's great. This league's great. Everybody new is great. Everyone is
All right.
awesome in this league.
We need to
And
get to an actual segment. So let's keep it
no, we
moving.
don't.
Yes,
We could just-
yes,
we
we
could
do.
just,
We do. We can't keep
get your
going like
receipts
this.
out.
I can't.
Let's
I
go.
only got,
Let's
I
go.
only have
Let's go.
one more beer and a bottle of wine. I'm not gonna make it, and I haven't eaten all day. I have a
No.
pizza right next to me.
We're totally fine.
Okay, so it was talked about wanting some trade evaluations in history. So the first one that came to mind was the Justin Jefferson deal
Justin
that
Jefferson
you made.
trade.
Okay, we had literally a GM, good GM, excuse me, leave the league shortly after this trade, and he called out Ben and was just like, "How can you justify sending all those assets for Jefferson?" So Ben's gonna read off the trade. I don't know if he has the contract information. It's a lot of information without another screen showing
I
it.
I can remember it.
Okay,
I can-
so
I-
it's probably like what, a 10-person deal, 10-player deal.
No, it's more.
Okay, so it's a big deal. But Ben gets. Go ahead, Ben.
Okay, so the context was Mando and I made a trade. And
Mando,
I
an
had,
experienced GM,
Yeah,
very
dude.
experienced.
I
Yeah.
mean, with a
One
good
of the
team.
best. One of the best.
And I looked at my team and I said, I'm sick of having a bunch of Jags and trying to win. And I kept like
I-
Making the
By
playoffs,
Jags, he
first
means
round exit.
just an average guy, not a Jaguar.
No, because if you had the Jags this year, touchdown Jesus could be good. So I was like, I want Justin Jefferson. Figured it out. The deal was basically I was going to give a lot, but there's no picks involved. It's all players. And at that time, this is 2023, I gave up 5 startable players for 2.5 startable players. So my side was,
what were the names?
okay, Justin Jefferson on my side. I'm getting Justin Jefferson, Cody Thompson, who ended up being a free agent, wide receiver. So he was nothing. I might have taken him for cap. I think this trade was done before the change of the year, so some of this is just like dead cap. So I think he's a dead cap guy. Miles Adams, I don't even remember him, so he's probably a dead cap guy. Ben Neiman had linebacker had 5 years.
That's a hope and a prayer.
It's just a backup. D'Angelo Ross was dead. Greedy Williams was dead. Tyler Coyle was like never started. Another taxi squad drop, and then Israel Mukarama, who was basically
So a bunch of nothings for
it was
Jefferson.
basically and it was Kavan Chasen. So it's basically of the people I
which
was
you
gonna
traded to me,
keep.
but yeah.
Correct. Of the people I was going to keep was Javon Kaysen, Mike Gesicki, and Justin Jefferson. Those are all that really matter. Justin Jefferson was a 5-year extension, had just gotten past his second year, meaning the following year he could be a holdout. This was a big thing Moose brought up, which was actually very relevant. Because if he was the best of the best the following year, he would be subject to holdout, which means his cheap rookie extended contract could go up. I think at the time it was like $80. But $80 for Justin Jefferson is pretty nice. Gesicki was 20, and
Well, he's 110
Devon
now.
Chasen was like 10. And so there were good contracts that I got. And with more contracts. But I gave him, and here's where everyone's got to sit in their chair. Unless it sounds not as good now. Jaleel McLaughlin,
Bust.
Jalen Warren,
Win.
Josh Palmer,
Bust.
Michael Pittman, Devin Tompkins, Cole Turner. Do you know who that is, Corey?
Tight end for the Washington Redskins.
Hey, man, you're getting better at this.
I'm pretty good.
Josh Sweat, who was for the Eagles at the end and was very good.
But contract related, right?
Micah McFadden, who was
has his chance in a prayer.
At that time potentially replacing the middle linebacker, which he did. And Antonio Hamilton, a cornerback who I believe didn't do anything afterwards. But I basically gave him all players who the next year scored points or didn't lose a ton of value.
But how is McLaughlin's value now, 2 years later?
I just got him for almost nothing. So
okay, so maybe buy cheap, but
no,
diminished.
but he's not worth nothing. I mean,
but like Brad made a big deal because he was like a $7 running back, and it was like, oh, I mean, you just gave up him and Warren. So Warren has
Jalen Warren.
Like it's really Warren for fucking Jefferson at this point.
Oh no,
like,
Michael Pittman was
and Pittman.
He's less valuable now of how we're going to look at it, but last year he still was very good considering his situation. Like Michael Pittman,
is it going to be better?
You just put Jefferson and Pittman together. You could probably say like him and Josh Palmer because he had a good year last year.
You won the trade, bro. You won the trade, and like it's like that's
you can say that. I just honestly, I don't think it's that easy.
It's still developing, but you got a superstar that you plug and play every week.
I agree.
20 points a game,
but
and not
Moose's
hopes
point
and
was
prayers.
The assets are more important, and here's where he was right.
How many? How many
He
titles did
no
Miz
no
have in DC?
Mando
None.
traded Jalen Warren for Nico Collins straight up
Yeah, but
right after that.
so that's a different conversation. Mando's a good GM. He figures things out, and he has his talent assessment, and he moved a piece after the fact of the deal that was made. It
It's
doesn't matter what he
easier
did
to
after the fact.
make those trades when you have deeper assets. If I know this because I've been handcuffed since then. Like I haven't had the assets to make movement trades, and it's really hard to build a team when you
Well, somehow
can't
you
make
traded
movement trades.
Gasecki and Clavine
Yeah, I
Chauncey,
traded
didn't he?
you those two guys. I got some guys. I competed. I did well on drafting and my
Well,
free
you're
agency
gonna
option.
finish 24th in the league again this year, man. Congratulations. You're like
You
a
think I
really
will?
top shelf. Yeah,
I don't think
24th.
I've ever finished that low.
24th or 25th.
I don't think I've ever. I'm almost no. I'm positive I've
Yeah,
never
but if you're not
finished
winning,
that
you're
low.
losing. If you're not winning, you're losing.
Well,
You might as
that's
well be on the
fair.
bottom. Yeah,
That's
you might as
fair.
well be on the bottom half.
I've never put myself in the lottery in 12 years in this league, and I agree that's not a good strategy. Look at Bad Boys. Look at
I've
Warren.
never put myself in the lottery
Look
with
at
my own
Warren. Look
pick.
at Vito. Look
Never
at Warren.
once
Look at
my pick
Vito.
was in the lottery.
Oof.
Not
Tanking
once.
works. Tanking works. It's not
Yep.
tanking. It's
Yeah, but our boy
intentional losing.
well, possible points scored. So you don't want to have Zach Bond on your team when he's going to score you 200 points if you believe in your heart that
I think
it's
all strategies are great. I think I like that they all are. Like I think when people get mad about, I don't know. I'm not an anti-tanking guy. I'm not. I think we had the lottery now. That's like
that's good.
that's
As long
got
as
to
we have
eliminate
ping
a
pong
lot of
balls and
it.
we do it live and we don't just do it in an obscure room in fucking Texas, you know. But that's a
I don't
whole
know if
nother
that
thing.
made any sense on this pod, but because we don't have any infographics, but Corey thinks I well, we can't show this trade. Like, here you
Dude,
go.
yeah,
Here's your trade.
infographics is so
We'll get
like
there. We'll be
not
so soon.
AI.
We're so
Yeah,
soon. We're so
that's
soon.
funny. All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. So,
We can talk about your trade, the
yes,
Jameson
yes,
Williams
yeah,
trade.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
this one because it's fresher. It's
So,
easier to talk about.
well, it's very simple. So, I came into the draft with no draft picks. So, what do? I get excited just like everybody else. I want to be a part of the action. So, what do you
JoJo
do?
the circus boy and his pretty new pet.
Yeah, exactly.
The pet is Jameson Williams.
What's the bird in that Jim Carrey movie where it's like, oh, Polly, what's it got?
Petey
Petey, yeah.
sold
So,
Petey to a blind kid.
exactly. Um, so I'm
Let's get
like,
back on track.
okay, I wanted Burden, and Burden's on the table, and our boy Bowers on a fucking boat in Alaska, and I'm like, he has DJ Moore. There's no way he's taking Burden here. He has to take fucking variance.
Bauer for everyone is
Mighty
Mighty
Orphans,
Orphans.
yeah. Good friend of like best friend, professional golfer, one of the greatest dudes ever.
If you ever come to Costa Rica, we're gonna go play 9 minimum 18 holes, even if you've never played golf, together with Mr. Bauer.
He's the best. I love that dude at like 9 o'clock, sitting on his rocking chair, drinking wine and having a great time. Like, and he has an extreme playlist of music that is very eclectic. I would suggest that you tap into it. Um,
Oh
so
yeah. Oh hey, Orphans, let's get a link to your playlist.
yeah, it's just I mean, it's going to be a lot of Seville, which I've never listened
Chevelle.
to.
That
Okay,
was
whatever.
hilarious. It's Chevelle. He does like Chevelle Red a lot, but he also is really
All
deep
right. We gotta
into
keep
hip
going
hop.
because we could do this forever.
We're fine.
So
Everything's fine.
everything's great. So it's JMO, who I love. I have him everywhere, but I'm a little down off.
JMO was your guy. That
He's my
draft,
guy.
you
I
made
drafted
sure
one
you
four.
got
I went and got it.
JMO
I
in
got him
every league.
everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I was right to a certain extent. After like a tough year, blah
Yeah, he
blah.
doesn't have a gambling problem. And
Right. Yeah, but talent was there. I mean, it's visual when you see him in the open field. Okay,
they
so
gave him a max extension too.
So Ben Johnson leaves.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
too.
I have Gibbs, and I'm like, I won a championship off of Gibbs and JMO, like without a doubt. Like they just blew, you know. No, I was watching it in Portugal, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, like on my fucking phone, like, and it was Gibbs and JMO. It was just, I can't believe this is happening. This is wonderful.
This is how beautiful fantasy football humans are.
Anyway, my wife was not very enthused with my,
Doesn't matter.
yeah,
Portugal,
penis,
3 in the
penis
morning
nickname.
on my phone is all you had me at hello.
Every day. So I need to move on. I need to separate. So I'm like, but I want some action. I want to get younger. I want to have some more assets because, like, believe it or not, you can't have a fucking deep roster in these leagues. You can if you
It's
fucking do it. So I need a running back. I need another wide receiver. I move JMO to, I can't remember who I made the deal with. Abe, I think, Sausage King from Chicago. So Ferris Bueller, thank you. One pick before that, I wanted Burden. And so it was JMO and for 114 and 203. That was it. I wanted Burden. That was the only reason I was in the like trying to make a move. Bauer takes Burden. I move on. I say, fuck, now I'm committed. I say 115 and 203 and a future first for Jaden Higgins. So I got an extra first than what I would from what I was
so
already
the
going to pay
original
for.
trade. The first step
Correct.
is Jameson Williams for 115, which was Jaden Higgins,
114 and 203. I
and
like
203.
yeah, take it.
Nothing
I'm
else.
good. I just want Burden.
I thought you got a future first.
Right. Burden went to Bauer when he's on the boat in Alaska. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, what did you just do? You have DJ Moore. Like, what are you going to do? He's like, well, like, oh, like, I'll trade Burden. I'm like,
Are you
okay, I'll trade.
exposing strategies here?
No, yeah, like 100%. I'm like, I'm
Oh,
not. And so I go to Abe and I'm like, I'll take 115, JMO, 203, and I need a first next year. I like, my guy's gone. I just want, that's all I wanted. And he took it. And I, it
the
was as
downgrade from Burden to the next guy.
is an extra first. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I took that first and I moved it for Jalen Carlise, the linebacker, $6 linebacker, 24 years old. And I also got Brashard
How many
Smith,
total snaps has he played?
8.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, hope and a prayer. But if he gets 8 points a game at linebacker at $6, and he's an extendable contract to $20 after the next 2 years, like I fucking struck gold. I tried to move him. I tried to move that first for
First round pick goal.
I tried to move that first for Roshan Johnson and like another piece. No take on Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is not moving. I'm like, okay, moving on. So then I go to Larry, brute force. I'm like Zach Bond, and he's like, no, Diaby, and and he got
Corey,
two,
pull it
like he
together.
wanted too much.
What is the
No,
damn
I, I
trade?
I
We
am
don't
pulling
care.
it together. This is a beautiful. It's a beautiful fucking execution of a GM. Cool. So then I send it. I send it to, like, yeah, exactly. Pat yourself on the back. I'm a two-time champion. This is what champions do. You keep going. You don't stop. You don't quit. You just don't stop. And so then I'm like, okay, $6 linebacker, third and a fourth for
Keep
Carly's. And
going.
he's like, he's happy. And I'm like, okay, you're happy, I'm happy. That's the end of the deal. There's no tomfoolery in any of this. It was just straight negotiation on a plane flight, fucking Southwest, Oakland to San Diego, hour and 25 minutes of fucking texting. And that's how deals are made. Like, I don't know what GMs do in the fantasy football world. That's what I do. I fucking go to work and I make deals. And I imagine that's how the GMs in football life, like the 32 of them that are lucky enough to be in that position in the world, that's how they operate as well. Yeah, you have guys that you can just fucking, and if you're not texting owners, if you haven't shared your cell phone information or shared your face, good luck to you, man. Good luck. I like looking people in the eye when I make deals. You know what?
Fucking
And
dog has fucking papers.
so grade the trade, Ben. Did I do well or not?
I think so.
No, just take the Higgins for JMO in 203. Did I do well on that? No.
No, but you got the first. The first was like,
Right. So just take Jaden Higgins for JMO and Brashard Smith. Is that a win?
if it's JMO for Higgins and Brashard Smith, you got kicked in the fucking dick.
Now add the first.
The first, we're okay.
Yeah, and then you get
Empate, as they say here. Tie.
then you get a $6 linebacker that could possibly score 8 points a game. Then
I
you get
love these
323,
hypotheticals.
and then you get 408.
I'm
So
big
I
on
get
that guy. I'm big on that guy.
Which
But
one?
he's a hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical, but he's a starting linebacker.
Is he somebody like Levante David?
I like hybrid motherfuckers that play safety and they get converted to linebacker and they move around and they can be on the field at all times. And that's what he is. That's Marte Mapu, that's JL Skinner, that's Carlis. Those are the guys that I'm attracted to because this is going to go into our next
Sexually?
segment. This is going to, well, I don't know about their penis size, but this is going to go into the next segment. About the value of finding a linebacker versus a D end or a safety that's converted to linebacker. If
Yes.
the worst case scenario is Carlis turns back into a safety, I still have him under contract for fucking $20 for the next 5 years.
Okay, so
That's worth a
yes,
first to me.
this is this is where we do segment into something that's been super interesting. And I think a lot of new people, anyone who came in the last 2 years, probably doesn't see where it transitioned, but the scarcity of position. So when you're sitting here talking about, well, I gave somebody's future first round pick for a 6th round linebacker who may or may not get EJ Speed's snaps from last year, as long as he's as good as EJ Speed, and we hope he is.
It's 1 year super pot.
So
1
it
year
sounds
super pot.
okay, but it sounds insane. Except in BC, once upon a time, a long, long time ago, every single edge rusher in BC was a linebacker. So we didn't have true position.
Right.
So because there was no true position, what we had was like a weird abundance of linebacker.
So Micah Parsons is a linebacker, not a defensive end.
Correct. He was a
Right.
he was a linebacker.
JJ Watt.
Grenard was a linebacker. Van Ginkel was a linebacker. I think
all the
I think
dudes.
Watt was at the end. I could be no. Watt was a linebacker. So what happened in this case was we had a weird run of like scarcity at D end and DT positions. But it wasn't so much that it was scarcity. The problem was if you, let's say you own Daniil Hunter, and he's top 3 at that time. He's like top 3 defensive end. And then if they switch schemes from a 4-3 to a 3-4, the second B became a 3-4 outside linebacker because you have 2, which is it's just an excuse. Now he's a linebacker. So now in our scoring, DNs get 6 points for sacks and linebackers got 4. Right? So there's if you have a 16 sack guy who is getting 2 more points at the end and he's not getting him a linebacker, like that's a big discrepancy in points
Right.
systems.
Yeah.
So what was happening was very commonly in these leagues, having very elite DNs was very advantageous.
Right.
And so you could get the Nick Bosa, you could get the Daniel Hunter, Max Crosby's, and the consistency of those points week to week would just ball out for you. And linebackers are very in and out, right? Like
running backs. They're like running back.
Yeah, or like a backup running back. Like he'll get you a good amount. End of the year, it's probably
Micah McFadden is Khalil Herbert.
Correct. So there was a point where there's a massive boil frustration over that fantasy football leagues in general had been converting to true position. And true position meant you are what you are in the offense. It doesn't matter like
how
everything else goes. Yeah. It's like, yeah. Do you put your hand in the dirt 67% of the time and play D end, even though you're in a 3-4 system?
Are you trying to get to the quarterback's nuts?
Yeah, it's just like they didn't have a good way to define it. So the league voted on what we're going to do. Was it going to be true position or not? And it was very divided because there was a good point that was like, if we go to this, is that going to define too many DNs and make too many DNs D tackles? And are we now going to have crazy linebacker scarcity?
Who's the Minnesota Vikings DT that they had for a while that was like a DT, but like he's listed as a DT, but he's actually a DN? You got to pull it
Harrison
up.
Phillips?
Yes.
Perfect. No, he's example. Actually a DT though.
Well, but he was listed as a DN though. Like I can get fucking 8 points from a D tackle.
No, but this is. I know what you're saying. This isn't a good example. He's our right now. He's our nose tackle. Like he's the middle of the 3.
Yeah, but he was listed as a DN for like a while. So like if he gets 2 sacks as a D tackle as opposed to a DN, and you have him as a rusher that gets sacks, he scores way more points for you as a D tackle than he does if he's just plugging the fucking middle.
In comparison, yes, but the scoring for D tackle and D end was the same. So like you still get 6 points. The whole thing was you could take a guy like TJ Watt is perfect example. As a linebacker, he was a 205-point guy. As a D end, he was a 250-point guy. So like I just dropped 50 points because of a technicality.
And you only have to start 2 defensive ends in BC.
And you're like, TJ Watt dropped into coverage 2% of the time. And he rushed the passer 98. And you're like, is that a edge rusher? Is that a linebacker? So to speed up this history lesson, this still hasn't been solved, except for some sites that do dual designation, and still not really solved there because everyone who has dual designation is way too valuable. So there's no good option. The point is we change the rules.
You have to understand that it's a possibility that the site is going to adjust positions, and that you need to take gambles on guys like Marte Mapu or JL Skinner that are playing safety that can get moved.
Anyone that Corey's ever drafted.
No, but it's like such an advantage. If I I don't know this stuff, like especially on the IDB side as much as you do. Like you're the fucking savant as far as IDP. I'm just saying, like, to understand the shift from safety to linebacker and getting a $6 linebacker that is now a hybrid safety that's playing on all 3 downs, like, you're fucking golden.
I think what we're dealing with right now is like it's beyond that. I think defenses have evolved to a point that there's probably 5 coaches that run a traditional defense. And this was the argument back before when we're trying to like, okay, everyone's actually a 3-4 percentage wise. Like everyone's running a 3-4. There's like, oh, I'm a 4-3, but like we're 65% running a 3-4 because you're just trying to do smokes and mirrors, right? So it's like,
yeah, but it's a passing league now, right?
Well, what happened, this is the most important thing of this rule transition. We voted for it to go to true position because it was a setting that they just did on MFL. And then MFL just said, we're true position.
Right.
So they took the option away. So it's not like there's A and B. They're like every single dynasty league that existed outside of MFL had gone true position except MFL. So they came in and said, fine, we'll do it. So it's like, that's cool. And they have value adjustments here and there. In a 16-team league, you can figure your way around it. But now, defenses only play one linebacker in true position and maybe two. So there's a middle linebacker, unless you're a very specific defense. Everyone moves around enough that you can call them something else. And so that made to where you're like 5 people are on the line and they're all DNs or D tackles. And now nobody's a linebacker. So you're just like a middle linebacker and maybe a guy who plays both. So you're like 2 a team. And now you start doing math and it's like, how do I get a linebacker? And now we have linebacker scarcity. And so this league specifically, if you could say there was an average of 2 linebackers starting per team in the NFL, 32 teams, and we need to start 3 and can start 4.
Yeah.
Right? But the average is 2. That means our average is 2. The average ownership of
correct, but that's why
you
need hybrid safeties that are fucking playing on 3 downs that could
if
be
they get
a linebacker.
designated. If they get designated that way. But like that is gone even crazier.
How much does a linebacker get paid in free agency versus the safety?
The second a
No. Hold on, Ben. Hold on. How much in real NFL football does a linebacker get paid in free agency versus safety?
Oh, these days how much? So it's almost
3 times more?
No, they're the same. They're the same.
I'd have to check the numbers, and I don't have any information to back this up, but I'm pretty sure that you can find a safety more than you can have a top-tier linebacker in the NFL, and the top-tier linebackers are making at least
say the question again. I think I'm confused.
I'm saying a linebacker in free agency, like the best in the business, how much is their contract versus the safety's contract?
Oh, in BC?
No, in real football.
Oh, so, real football?
Yeah, so a middle linebacker that's a stud is making 2x.
No, they have no value. They have no value.
I don't know. I'd have to check the fucking numbers.
They have no value. The draft tells you everything you need to know about middle linebackers. They have no value. Outside linebackers that can hybrid pass.
So it's edge rushers. It's edge rushers. It's sack.
Yeah, but the problem is like edge rushers used to be outside linebackers, and they used to like be guys you could start.
You're saying like who's the best Fred Warner? He doesn't make more money than who's the best safety right now? The kid from Baltimore. I mean, to me,
I don't know. Hamilton got an extension.
Well, he's too young. Yeah, so
I think he's still on a rookie contract. Minika Fitzpatrick got the fucking yard.
He's 32. There's no way he got more money than fucking.
No, I'm just saying when he got a contract. Like I don't know. I gotta go look at the contract. Cameron Bynum got paid a fucking stupid amount of money.
$8 million, I think.
He's a free safety.
Hey, Google nerds, go check the statistic. Who's paid more in free agency? The best linebackers or the best safeties? Check it out. I don't know.
Middle linebackers, compared to what they used to get paid, are now like running backs. They're the best of the best can get elite salaries, but
hey, buddy, I love you fucking to death. It's we're at an hour and 37. We gotta get into the draft. We gotta do the draft recap because I'm gonna peter out here. I'm gonna go to Night Land here in about fucking an hour. So I think that's really important for the league to understand the first round. and just this is going to be a long segment. That's why I'm saying this. Like, I love you. I have a whole bottle of wine. I'm sitting here. You're my best friend in the world. Like, I would do anything for you. Never going to be a fight in our world that we can't like fix.
I can't
Uh,
wait to insult your manhood at the end of this.
that's fine. I don't care. You know I'm a man. And I would fuck you up. I would fuck you up. Period. Point blank.